Hello everyone, so we are from group 7 right now. We would like to present our group project of system analysis and design course. Before we go to the presentation, let me introduce our group members first, which consists of Fazrina Akbar Harahap, Sarastri Rahayani Zagoto, Jeremia Aprilianto Maldin, Rakutufau Nasufiniafu Saralinda. And for the first presentation will be presented by Linda. So Linda, time is yours.
Okay, thank you, Yanni. So I'm going to present first. Before giving any details about our project, I'm first going to present the case that the lecturer asked us to talk about. So our team is required to develop a computer systems for administration of guest room and room reservation. So actually, the management expect the following information for the new system, namely the current guests and the rooms, unoccupied like empty rooms every day, reserved and available rooms for 1 year in the future, the previous transaction with each guest also, and the check-in and check-out. Other information are also required for this new system since like we received the letter from the police department that require also that the hotel report foreign guests every day. So we are going to implement this fact also in our new system. And also about every guest that get an ID card with the unique number, also the frequent guests that get discount and other souvenir within this hotel. So next slide. So the first one, we are going to talk about the project definition and the data gathering. So first, we took the case of XYZ Hotel, which is located in Padang and is actually proposing services such as accommodations, other facilities, free parking, free Wi-Fi, and etc. As you can see in the table, you have the type of rooms in the first column, then the price per night, and the total room available within the XYZ Hotel. In the next project. Okay, so in this case, the problems that our team is going to solve, like with the current system, first is the fact that it's really hard to locate the guest files, which means that everything is actually made manually. So there will be a large number of guest files, so it will be really hard for the management of the hotel to manage it. So we are going to help them with that. Also about the storage that may take a lot of spaces in the hotel. Also human and computational errors that may be really frequent. That's why it required a computerized system. Also about the generation of records. So actually some important data may be forgotten or may be deleted by the employees. So it's really important to implement a more sophisticated system. And finally, about the data analysis, which will be really hard also to do it because the accountants want to analyze the guest data during the generation of expenditure bills. So we need also to arrange this, to improve this fact. As I said before, like the hotel is actually proposing a lot of services. So it receives per year a lot of local and international guests. But even with this kind of concept, it's not really taking profits to its maximum potential because of the current manual system, which is used to manage all activities. So our team aims to help the management of the hotel to develop a computerized system. Like this, they can implement improving customer care, for example, and services at the XYZ hotel, managing check-ins and check-outs, increasing the hotel performance, and also tracking data of each guest that visits the hotel, so they can get the member card, discounts, and other souvenirs. So the aims of our team for the proposed system, first is to enable the computerized, like some parts of the management booking process, to generate automated data entry methods so that will be really more effective for the management of the hotel to manage it. Also to give access to an easy and fast authorized editing of data, to facilitate the management by automatically generating the hotel guest data, their rooms data, sorry, to ensure good communication within the hotel, like between the hotel and the police department, since, as I said before, they require the management of hotel to report the foreign guests like who are reserving in the hotel every day. And finally, to avoid data entry errors by using the input and adequate output. So in order to implement this new system, our team has first to gather data, and some methods have been actually implemented in order to achieve it. The first one is observation method. Since the hotel needs an automated system, we may note that there might be like ineffective management of the guest admission and booking process by the current system. So our team would come up with the idea to clearly outline the management of those two sectors in the computerized system. Also, about the time wastage, since the guest payment process may also require an urgent checkup, as it led to congestion on the content desk, about the insecurity of the guest records, since unauthorized people may have access to the guest files also, and also about the current system that did not correctly input all data of their foreigner guests. The second one is about the interview method. In the second one, we are going to talk with some actors like the employees, the guests, and those who will have access to the new system and also who have actual access of the current system. So first, we have to understand the employees' impression and comfortability about the current system. Also, the guest impressions about the current management of the XYZ hotel, and finally, the whole employees' motivation with the proposal of introducing a new computerized system, if it's adequate for them, if they are motivated to implement it and to use it in their daily life. And there is also questionnaire method. So this one will be conducted in a Google form actually, and our main target is the employees in the management department of XYZ hotel, because they will be the main individuals who will have access to the new system every day. So we need to have their opinion about this proposed system. Can we see the questionnaire? We actually made it in a Google form. So as you can see here, we are covering data about their names, also about their contacts. Also, we ask some easy questions so they can easily answer it. It's not really long and it's not really short, but it can help us to get quantitative data in order to really understand what are their needs. There is also another method is a document revision, where we are going to check all the papers that are available in the XYZ hotel in order to take into consideration the current system and also plan an error recovery strategy if needed. So this will be really beneficial for maximum data integrity. Okay. So now I'm going to explain the context and functional diagram. The first one is the context diagram. As you can see here, we have as the main central here the XYZ hotel management system. So the first one, there is the reception, guest information, and others input, where guests check-in and check-out actually enter or input in the XYZ hotel management. We have also the main services, where the guest orders are put there. And from the XYZ management system, there are report updates that will go back to the main services. Also, the police department, as I said before, we are requiring the hotel to send a report of foreign guests. So actually, it's the management system who will send back all those report of foreign guests to the police department. There is also about the hotel facilities, where the guest order are sent from the hotel facilities to the XYZ hotel management system, and they will after report all the updates to the hotel facilities. And finally, about the booking office guest booking, where facilities, service, and payment details are sent from them to the XYZ hotel management system, and then this one will after send all the input of guest detail back to the booking office guest booking. So about the functional diagram, as you can see here, there is a lot of elements that we have to take in consideration. We are going to start with the reception, guest information, and orders input, which actually take all the guest check-in and check-out, like as a process of guest check-in and check-out, sorry, to the database. We have also the main services. From the main services, we have the guest orders. So we have to prepare guest orders and put it back to the database, and the database actually resend back the report, like updating of the report to the main services. We have also the police department. So from the database, we have the foreign guest data. So this is in form of report that we send back to the police department about the booking office guest booking. All the facilities, services, and payment details are sent to the database. We are talking about really giving as much details as possible, and then we input it and we give it back, like we send it back to the booking office guest booking. Then we have the hotel facilities. Here we are talking about prepared facilities for guests. So the guest orders is taken into consideration, and we bring it back to the database, and then the database send back, like, to the hotel facilities a report, like updating the report. So from this, we take all the details from the booking office, and then we consider the input. Then after that, we go to the prepare facilities for guests, then to the update of report, and all of them we report and encourage all of them to the management of XYZ hotel. So I think that's all for me. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Linda. So the next presentation will be presented by me, and the third about data modeling, which consists conceptual entity model and physical database model. So as you can see, the conceptual entity model use the ERD, and there will be some entities here, such as hotel room management, guest ID card, and invoice. And also there's also a relationship that we can see, obligatory relationship, many to many, and then one to many, and then one-to-one relationship that we can see among the entity. And the next about the physical database model, we can see the main entities such as hotel room, ID card, management, invoice, and guest, and all the relationship between them. And the next is about structure of tables. In this, we have booking table here. As you can see, we have field name, which consists ID number, name, booking ID, room type, check-in, check-out, time length, reservation type, and each field type, field length, and description for the next column that describe all the field name in the booking table. And then it will be the same for the room table, which consists of room type, bed size, number of guests, other facilities, total room price in the field name, and each description for field type, field length, and the description. And the admission table, we have booking ID, name, total payment, bank, payment method, payment date, and each field type and field length and description for each field name in the admission table. And it will be the same for the guest table. We have field name, field type, field length, and description that describe the field name on the guest table. And this is invoice table. We have invoice number, invoice date, ID number, type of room, check-in, check-out, room price, time length, total payment, and the field type, field length, and description, which describe each of field name in the invoice table. And for the next, designing input screen layout will be presented by Fazrina. Fazrina, time is yours.
Thank you, Yani. I'm going to explain about designing input screen layout, which is consists for input data, retrieve data, and others. The first one is booking form. You can see here the use of this form is to input data about booking hotel's room. The content of this form are the booking ID and other detailed informations like guest detail and the admission detail. And to retrieve data, there will be buttons to operate the form like arrow right or left button to move the data in the form, pencil button to make new data, checkmate button to save data, and so on. Next slide, please. Next is guest form. This form is made to input data about the guest, the personal data like address, birth of date, passport ID for foreign guests, and each guest will be given by our hotel a unique code, which is called ID number. And in this form also will show the booking detail for each guest. Same with the previous form, there will be buttons to operate this form. Next slide. Next is the admission form. Here is the form to input data about payment, including the bank, the date of payment, and so on. And also there are buttons to operate the form. Next, I'm going to explain the designing report and other output. The first one is the current guest and their room report. This report contains the data about the current guest, which is we made in the November, and this has contained name, booking ID, room type they book, check-in date and check-out date, and time length they book the room. And then there's the empty room report. We made the data for this report as per 30 November 2021. Next slide, please. Next is a reserved and available room for 1 year in the future report. This report shows the room that have already been booked in 1 year. After that, for available rooms can be found by reducing the total room to room that has already been booked for 1 year. And then there's previous transaction with each guest, which is the data is in October because our current focus is in November. Next slide. Next is check-in and check-out data report. This report shows the person who booked the room, type of the room, and check-in and check-out date. And then there's the foreign guest data report. This report only shows the data about foreign guests with their passport ID, nationality, and check-in date. This report will be sent to the police department. Next, about the frequent guest data report. All of these guests in this report will get discounts and special souvenirs from our hotel. And there's the last report is invoice report. In this report, there will be invoice number that automatically show, and the content only about the type of room with the check-in and check-out date, time length, price for each type of room, and total payment. If you want to see the next or previous invoice, there will be arrow right or left button. And if you want to print this invoice, there will be the print button and all of the invoice will be automatically printed. Next. The next will be explained by Jerry.
Thank you, Fazrina. The next topic is about list of hardware and software need. For the hardware, the minimum requirement is the first one, SSD or HDD storage with 256 GB of storage. The second is Intel Celeron, 2.16 gigahertz. Next, Intel HD graphics for VGA. And for RAM, there is 512 megabyte. For input device, the keyboards, mouse, and OMR. And for the output device is flat panel monitors, speakers, and printers. And the hardware needs also about the support Ethernet or LAN or Wi-Fi for local database configuration. And for the software, the minimum requirement is Windows 7 with 64 or 32-bit operating system, support remote access, include antivirus for protect database, support automatic backup or cloud database, include Microsoft Office 2010 package that include access, and also support Java, PHP, and Microsoft Virtual Basic for the program. Next, about time schedule for construction and implementation. From August till November, the activities are problem definition, data gathering, problem description and understanding, system analysis, and interpretation of collected data. From January till May 2022, the activities is system design and construction. From June to July, the activities are system testing and debugging, and also employees training. And the last for August, the activities is submission to the XYZ hotel. The last about develop system prototype using Microsoft Access. This is the admission table that include the data that already input into the Microsoft Access. Next slide, please. And this is for the booking table. And the last is guest table. Invoice table, room table. And this is for booking form, guest form, admission form, current guest and their room report, unoccupied or empty room report, reserved and available room for 1 year in the future report, the previous transaction with each guest report, and also the check-in and check-out data report. For agent guest data report, frequent guest data report, invoice report. I think that's all for the prototype that already showed before. That's all for our presentation. Thank you for your attention.
Okay, thank you, Jerry. So that is the end of this presentation. Wish you guys can get what we present about our project. And we feel so sorry for any mistake on this presentation. And thank you very much for your attention.